Hello, my name is Keith Walker and I'm the subject librarian for the Business School here at Edinburgh Napier University. What I'm going to talk about today is just a little introduction to the types of material that we have here in the library for you, how to access that material, and I think first of all, why should you be using the library in the first place? Well, every module that you sign up to should have a reading list, and that is where the academic will perhaps list a particular textbook that they will define as the core text, i.e. the textbook that will support the teaching on that module. There may also be links to various academic journal articles or articles from other publications, be they newspapers or other types of magazine, that are relevant to the subject. Now, where we've been informed of these by the academic, the library makes an attempt to have copies of the core text available, and these can be in multiple formats. So you could get a hard copy, i.e. the book, physical book in the library, or where possible we'll purchase an electronic book so that you can access that, well, anywhere in the world really, as long as you've got an internet connection. As well as these suggested readings from the academic, the library also houses many more books and journals within covering business. And wider reading is, I think, at a certain point expected of the student. The academic will give ideas, as I said, in the reading list, but when you're trying to complete an assignment or an essay, your reference list, if it shows readings over and above the reading list, then I think that reflects better on you. It shows that you've done more research, and while I can't promise that it will get you more marks, anecdotally academics have told me that they find this a bit more favourably. Now, we have access to these wider readings available through various databases and other online resources, and I mention these because I think it's important that you realise that the library gives you access to these high quality academic sources. So it's much better than simply just going on to Google and doing a Google search to try and find information that you might not know where it comes from or how up to date it is, or if the veracity of the information is indeed correct. And it's much better than using Wikipedia, but I'm sure you all know that already anyway. So this is what I was saying. We provide you with access to these quality academic sources through various online resources and databases. If we don't have things for you, we can also get you access to other academic libraries, be that in Edinburgh or across the whole UK, via Sconnell Access. We can get you access to the National Library of Scotland. And if worst comes to worst and we don't have it and no one else has it in Scotland, we could try and interlibrary loan things from the British Library. These are very much worst case scenarios rather, and I would suspect that what we do have will give you the vast majority of what you need to be successful in your studies. So what do we have? Well, I mentioned earlier electronic materials. We have access to literally millions of e-journal articles, thousands of e-books, newspapers from around the globe and across the UK. So they may be, your broadsheets from, the Times, the Scotsman, things like that, down to the local newspaper. But also newspapers from various countries: America, Canada, France, Germany, Russia, etc. As well as those prose-based resources, we also have a whole host of databases that will give you market research information, company information, so that might be accounts details, profits, losses, share ratios, etc. But also company information within the market, so perhaps a SWOT analysis of a particular company within a particular market. And as I said earlier as well, we do have traditional resources such as books and journals that can also be borrowed. When you're looking for journal articles, the library catalogue will only give you the journal titles themselves, so the databases are a quicker and easier way to find these articles. They are essentially subject-specific search engines, and they give you access to a whole host of journals that aren't available in print. You'll also find that you'll get a thing called an abstract when you look at the results, and that's a paragraph that tells you what the article's about. And I would advise that you read that first, because it's much easier to read that and think, yeah, okay, I'll read the whole article, than to read, say, 15, 20, 30 pages of academic literature and then realise, I didn't really need that. So use the online search engines, use the databases to find articles. It's so much easier, and I'll do another film to show you how that works. To access these materials, there are various jumping off points throughout the university's online presence. The student portal has a link to the library where you can access Library Search, which is our sort of all-in-one search engine. Also on Moodle, we have a library page, and there are links to individual subject guides and a whole host of direct links to individual databases and resources. Okay, so you'll be using the online search tools quite a lot, I would imagine. Some of the individual databases that we have for the business school are listed here. I'll focus on the very top one, ABI Inform Global, also known as ProQuest. This is what I would describe as my flagship database. It has over 8,000 titles indexed within it. The vast majority, I think over 80%, are available in full text, so you will get the whole article. Its main strength is that it is what we call an aggregator. So, for example, Emerald, Wiley and Science Direct, these are all individual academic publishers. ABI takes titles from all these various publishers and puts them under one roof, so to speak. I think it's a fantastic database. It's got academic journal articles, it's got market research reports in it, it's got all sorts of economic information, but its coverage as well is superb. It covers all aspects of management, of finance, of economics, of marketing, accountancy, any aspect of business. It covers it. Human resource management, strategic operations, lean management, things like that. It's a phenomenal database, and I think if I were to use just one, that would be where I would go to begin with. Emerald, Wiley and Science Direct are all high quality academic journal databases too, and you may find things in there that you will use. I wouldn't say that you shouldn't use them at all. In fact, I would certainly say you should. However, as I say, ABI would be my initial jumping off point. Nexus is the newspapers database that I was talking about earlier, and Passport GMID and IBIS World are the market research and country reports. Passport GMID is particularly powerful in that it covers virtually every country in the world, and as well as getting market research reports and comment and analysis, you'll also get a whole host of economic and demographic statistical information from there. FAME, Financial Analysis Made Easy, is our company information. It covers the UK and Ireland, and it basically has about 7 million companies on it, from very small to very large. The last 10 years accounts are, if posted, will be available for them. Profit loss sheets, share ratios, assets, liabilities, things like that, as well as director information. A really good database. So as I said, these are all in the electronic sphere, so you can access these by following the links on Moodle or the library pages. And to log in, you would just use your Edinburgh Napier login details, which would be your matriculation number and whatever you've set your password to. This is the same username and password that you would use to log into your Napier email, to log into the student portal, to log into Moodle. So if you forget that, then it's important that you get it fixed. So please get in touch if you have to, because it's really important not just to access the resources, but as I said, to access your email, to Moodle, etc., etc. You'll also have to complete bibliographies and reference lists at the end of pieces of work. This is so that you acknowledge any sources you've consulted, so that whoever's marking your work sees the research that you've done, and it provides an overview of the literature on what you've been writing about. It is important to reference because you have to acknowledge anything that you've used, otherwise that can be classed as plagiarism. And we use a version of Harvard, and it kind of looks like this. So for a book you've got the author, the year, the title, the edition, if it's anything other than the first, where it was published and who published it. And when you would cite that in your text, you'd have your quotation marks and then brackets, the author and the year. An e-journal is very similar. You'll notice that you have the author, the year, the name of the article, then the name of the journal that it appears in, if it's online, the issue, the volume number. And if you are using online journals, then it's important to put in the URL and the date you accessed it. And again, when you're citing, you just use the authors and the years. There is more information about referencing on the library web pages. So, I would say ask me any questions. I'm not there obviously, but please feel free to email me. That's my email address there, k.walker@napier.ac.uk. If you have any questions at all about accessing the library, accessing the resources, or anything to do with that, then please let me know. We're here to support you through your studies, and please don't be shy. It will never be a silly question. Yeah, as I say, we're here to help, so please don't be shy and let us know if there's anything we can do to support you. I've also got a Twitter feed at ednaplib_Keith. It just sort of gives out library news really, but yeah, if you want to sign up to that, please do. Thank you very much.